and welcome to another video from Colour with Claire. Today I'm going to be showing you how I colour rose gold metal. Now I say how I colour it because it's not going to be the most hyper realistic, it might not be the best combination in your opinion of colours, but it's the way that I have come around to colouring rose gold. I've been practicing and trying out different colour combinations, and this is the best and easiest way that I can colour rose gold. And you know what my tutorials are like, they're always super simple, so don't be expecting anything too realistic, but hopefully you'll enjoy the video and you'll get something out of it. So I'm using Prismacolor pencils today, and that is purely because Prismacolor seem to contain the right tones that I need for rose gold. I've looked in polychromos and they really don't have the right kind of spectrum of colours that we need. But if you're using any kind of other pencil crayons, Crayolas, anything, just try and match these colours as best you can. You can see here that I've swatched them out. And in case you want to know, we have Prismacolor Clay Rose, which is PC 1017. We have Pink Rose, which is PC 1018. Deco Peach PC 1013. Light Peach PC 927, and a bit of Salmon Pink PC 1001. So they're the colours that we are using today. So as you can see here, I've printed out a cuff, a bangle, a bracelet type illustration, and this is what we're going to be colouring with the rose gold. Now I've also added in some facets, and we might just quickly colour those in and make it look a bit like crystals or cubic zirconias right at the end if we've got time. But for now, we're just going to be concentrating on the metal part of the bangle itself. Could also be a ring. I'm just saying it's a bangle. Okay, so off we go. We're going to start with the darkest of our colours, which is Clay Rose. And I'm going to move this over here so that you can see very clearly what I'm doing. I'm also just going to move across my board a little bit, just underneath, so we don't have any marks from the line in the board, if you know what I mean, the little crease in the two boards. So let's get this over here. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do first with the Clay Rose is I'm going to go on the inside of the bangle and I'm going to colour both sides. Now if you have seen my how to colour gold tutorial, this is very, very similar. Obviously the colours are completely different, but the way of colouring it is exactly the same. So that's why I kind of like colouring rounded objects that have got a lot of different light and shadow in them, because I think that you can then apply that to other things. Say for example, if you're colouring a steampunk horn or a cogwheel or something, you can apply the kind of light and shade as I'm showing here. So doing a nice layer of this Clay Rose and feathering it out, so that means I'm getting lighter and lighter pressure as I move outwards, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. I'm just going to mirror that as best I can. So I'm using light pressure as I get further and further away from the edge that we started, and I'm deepening up that colour more toward the inner side. So we're starting off just like that. Now, next up, you need to take your Pink Rose, PC 1018, and again, just extend. So we're going over the very light pressure that we did with the Clay Rose. We're going completely over that, and we're extending it out a bit, and we're still leaving a light pressure area for our next colour to blend into. Exactly the same on the other side. So we're going quite heavy pressure over the area of Clay Rose that we left, so that those two blend together and merge together. And then our next colour, which is the Deco Peach PC 1013. We're extending and overlapping again. Slowly getting closer to that midsection But we do want to bear in mind that we're going to be leaving a slight section of white in the middle as our main highlight, because we want this to look really shiny. Now the last colour that we're going to use on this bit is the Light Peach PC927. Just carrying on with that overlapping and extending until we leave an area in the middle that is completely blank. Now you can make this quite jagged, this area of white, just to show that it's a random reflection and it's not got two lines going down. I mean, you can do that if you want that kind of look, it's totally up to you, but I like to leave a bit of a jagged kind of area. I think it makes it look a bit more brushed and a bit more metallic. Now you can go over all of the other colours you've put down if you wish with this light peach, just to burnish or blend it out a little bit, but I'm fairly happy with how that looks at the moment. Now you noticed at the start that I also introduced the salmon pink, the PC1001, into the equation, and that's just dependent on how you like your rose gold to look, because you can get rose gold that's very, very pink, you can get rose gold that's very, very peachy, so it's totally up to you if you want to add in this colour here, and that will just make it a little bit more peachy. Let's just add slightly over this area, and you can kind of see that it has gone more peachy rather than pinky, but that's totally up to you. This is an optional extra pencil. Now I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the front of the bangle, so that you can watch me do it all again and make sure that you've got it down to pat. It's very, very simple. But I just think that these colours are perfect for rose gold. You might disagree. As I say, there are different types of rose gold, peachy, pinky. It often depends how things are printed, and all kinds of different things, like the makeup of the actual jewel itself, the makeup of the metal itself. Sometimes they have more alloy or what have you, so they look different kinds of colours and different tones. But this is just how I think looks best. So again, I'm just coming in from both sides. With the clay rose, leaving a nice little bit of feathered light pressure pencil. Next up we have our pink rose. So yes, if you prefer your rose gold to look a lot more pinky, then I would leave the salmon pink out and just stick with the four colours that I put down initially. Now, if you do find any very, very similar pencil colours in other sets aside from Prismacolor, please leave them in the comments box so that other people who might not have Prismas can have a go as well. I know for sure that these colours don't appear in polychromos, but I'm going to try and see if I can get something out of it with the polys, some kind of rose gold look. But for now, this is the closest that I can find to the colours that I envisage when I think of rose gold. Next we've got the Deco Peach. This adds a bit of peach in, but it's not a perfect peach. It is a pinky peach. So it's not like adding in that salmon pink, which is far more peach than pink. And then finally, the Light Peach PC927. not forgetting to leave our little area of white in the centre for shine. I'm just going over with medium pressure to make sure that blend is nice and smooth. And there we are. Now for the top of the bangle or the ring, I'm going to get our darkest colour, which is the clay rose, and I'm going to colour the sides, so the curve at the edges, with the clay rose. So we're keeping our shadows in the same place. If we put them in the middle, it'd look a bit weird. Keeping our shadows in the same place, and we're doing exactly the same thing. Pink rose. Deco peach. And light peach. Don't forget your white area. And there we are. That is how I colour rose gold, and I hope that you like it. Again, if you want to put that salmon pink in there, you can do. It's totally up to you. It's an optional pencil. But that is it. It's so simple. It's just the colour combinations really accentuate the look of rose gold, I think. Now, I did say that I was just going to finish off this piece by putting in a few facets. So I'm going to make these kind of clearish crystals, and I'm using some greys from my set of Lyras because they're a harder pencil, so we can get into those smaller areas a little better. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to shade in just a few of the facets with the darkest colour, which I've got dark grey here. Just shading in a few of the facets completely. I do that on each one. Totally random. This is just a quick demo to show you how I do faceted gems. Learnt from the best, Amanda Rambo, Vitruvian Arts. She is the queen of gems. But this isn't her complete way of doing it because she's just the master, and I could never emulate that. But this is just the way I'm doing it for quickness because they're quite small. We don't need a lot of detail. Then I'm going to take the lightest of our greys. This one's light grey. Oh, snap it. And then colour in a few more facets. Next grey we've got is silver grey. Should be using my dusting brush instead of my hand, shouldn't I? Colouring in a few more facets. And I'm also going to keep snapping these pencils, guys. I'm also going to leave a couple of the facets white as well. And then I've got kind of a mid-grey here. This is medium grey. And I'm just going to go over a few more of the ones we have left. And again, just leave some white. I think leaving them white just creates that effect that they're super clear and light gems rather than having any colour to them per se. I'm pretty happy with that. Very simple. I might just go over the round bits of these with the medium grey, or was it the light grey? I think it's the medium grey. No, the silver grey. Get there in the end, just to try and make it look like This is a bit of a silver band around here. And voila, there you go. Rose gold with some beautiful diamond, cubic zirconia, whatever you want to call them, facets. And yeah, I really hope that you've enjoyed this really simple tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you have, and of course click the thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon on Colour with Claire.